So here's some of the work on those eyes to make them a little bit bigger and more boisterous. Some of the techniques are in flux right now, but hopefully we'll be all set with them very soon. Okay. At this point I want to work on the stem a little bit, because finally this hot glue has cooled off and it is nice and solid all the way around. And the very first thing that I want to do here is give this stem a quick single layer of paper mache. So I need my strips. And as annoying as it is, the smaller your strips are on this, the easier they will go around, create whatever crazy twisted shape you may have made. When adding strips to the stem, you sometimes have to coat the entire side, as you don't have the luxury of painting over as you did on these nice longitudinal edges. So I'm just going to paint the surface of the stem, grab a strip, paint one side, and try to get enough stick with it. If you're really not getting enough stick with one side painted, then you can just go ahead and paint both sides and add them on. Mine just ripped there. That's really not a problem, as you can simply apply and keep on going. And ideally what this is doing is giving us a more rigid shell to the outer edge of our stem. And to a certain extent we're just kind of starching the whole darn thing. Much like you'd starch a pair of pants, we're just giving it some additional stiffness. Another factor I should mention in stems is that if you have a very elaborate, very branched out stem, be aware that the more paper clay you put on it, the more weight it's going to have, and it has the ability to make your pumpkin top heavy, which can lead to tipping later unless you weight the base. And that's really only a factor if you make a big elaborate stem. So think about that depending on what you're going to do. With the stem wrapped, you can go ahead and start claying, so long as you don't do it very thickly at first. This entire wrap is going to need to be able to dry, and that means the water is going to be able to seep out through your layer of paper clay. So don't go throwing a huge mountainous thick tree trunk of a stem on here and expect this not to start to rot. Depending on how large your stem is, you may not want to take the clay all the way to the outermost edge, because as you add more and extend further out, the weight may start to shift your stem structure out of the artistic way you've posed it. Consequently, you might want to stop halfway, or as you go out further, you may want to only do one side of the stem or only a certain section of the stem, so you get a tiny bit of a shell that you can complete later on in multiple phases. And that is what I think I am going to do as I get further out here. I am only going to add clay to the bottom of my stem. And I'll leave the top open so that I don't add so much weight that it starts to deform the wire. With a heavier gauge wire, this is less of a concern, but I only use some thin garden wire for this one rather than heavy 14 or 12 gauge stuff. So from about here on, I might even stop before I hit the edge, but I'm only going to clay 1/2 of this on this outer edge. One of the sure signs that you're starting to get your weight off wobble is if you give this thing a tap and it really starts giving a big swing. You know that's probably about a time to stop, at least for that portion of the day's work. Towards the center here though, I'm going to complete it because I have plenty of foundation strength. Depending on your stem, the last thing you might want to do is make sure that lines that you have leading up to it are somewhat continued, depending on how far out your stem foundation branches. I'm going to take some of these up a little bit perhaps, but I'll decide after I smooth this down if it even needs it.